Hey, Cavs fans. Welcome to the Cavs Pick and Roll Podcast, the podcast for diehard fans by diehard fans. I'm Alex, and I'm here with Corey. How's it going, Corey?
It is going good, although we just witnessed a Cavs loss. We'll talk about that here in a few. It is the week of Thanksgiving. I am ready for some turkey, some stuffing, pumpkin pie,
Cranberry sauce.
cranberry sauce. My kids
Yeah.
love that. And most
Hey, me
importantly,
too.
just a break from everything else outside of that.
Yeah,
How
yeah,
about
for
you?
sure. Little break from work, little relaxation time, little watching basketball, football, Ohio State game on Saturday versus that team up north that we don't mention.
Definitely. So it's been a little while, Alex. A lot of basketball has happened since the last time we recorded. And also, Alex, you went on a little trip out of the country. I want to start there.
Yeah.
Tell them where you went, and then I got some questions about it.
I went to Finland for work with a couple coworkers. To, yeah, and it was cool. It was cool. It's a really nice city. Traveled all around Helsinki and Vanta and saw the sights. Went to a couple, historical chapels and walked around downtown and rode the subway and it's a nice little. It's not really a tourist destination. There's not a whole lot to do. I think there's way more to do in downtown Cleveland than there is in Helsinki, Finland. Sang some karaoke. Don't ask for the video.
Nice.
Yeah, it was cool.
And first time there, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Yep, first time.
So here's my questions. I don't know how much I know when you go for work, you might be a little bit limited. I don't know how much free time they give you, right? Any signs of basketball anywhere in Finland?
I did not see any signs of basketball.
Mm.
Like most of Europe's soccer or football is the most common sport. Trying to remember, we talked about sports quite a bit. Even talked about Lauri Markkanen for a while and his 6 months of required military service, and I talked to them about that a bit, which was interesting. I did see a few Burger Kings. Burger King seems to be really popular over there.
Okay.
I saw a Taco Bell at the train station.
All right. Felt like home then, huh?
Yeah, I mean that was pretty much it though. Like everything else, like I didn't, went to the grocery store a few times, went to a couple of the malls there and walked around. Just not a whole lot of American brands really. Mostly European brands, stuff made in Finland. It was neat.
Very cool. Okay, so my second question, besides Marketing, that's too easy. Can you name any other basketball player from Finland?
Oh man, that's I was gonna look that up too. I was gonna look it up and say who else is from Finland that I could ask about, but no, I didn't. I don't know who.
I literally have a Google search up, and I don't know if I can pronounce respectively. I don't know if I can announce any of these people's names. So I'm
A-
not even gonna try. There's no other names
Anyone
that I
else that
recognize.
like who are current NBA players?
No, just I don't know if any of these are or not. I just Googled NBA players from Finland. Markkinen comes up first. He's hailed as the most prominent from Finland. There's Pekka Markkinen. I don't know if they're related or not. Maybe not. But then everybody else, I don't recognize, or I'll butcher their names if I try to say it. But pretty cool that Marketing came from there. I know a lot of us still wish he was playing for the Cavs. Alex, he's unfortunately rotting away in Utah still, along with Kevin Love.
Yeah, yeah, I missed that. Back when we had Markkinen, he was good. We had who was the other? We had a few tall people.
We
We
had
had like the
Marketing,
triple
we had
towers.
Mobley and Allen. That
Was
was
that it?
man.
I
That
thought
was a
we had
huge
oh,
lineup,
and
and
Dean Wade, of course, and
yeah, yeah, and
yeah,
yeah.
we had all the 7 footers.
Sexton and Garland, yeah.
Oh, I
Uh,
also had some really interesting food in Finland. Had a Finnish traditional soup that was salmon soup.
mm,
It's kind of like a cream-based potato soup with chunks of salmon in it.
Nice,
Was okay.
nice.
I had a moose burger.
Okay.
I had a reindeer tenderloin, reindeer heart,
Oh boy.
beaver salami. Yeah, I know.
At least you experimented.
Oh yeah, I'm not. I'll eat anything. I love food.
What
I'm
about
a
what about
total foodie.
what about the drinks though?
The drinks, yeah.
I know you tried some beers.
Oh, for sure. They had Karhu on
Mhm.
tap just about everywhere. That was kind of the local beer. Karhu is Finnish for bear. Another beer that was on tap that was a Finnish beer was called Sandals. And then the other third drink that was on tap everywhere was just called Long Drink,
Mm,
which was like it kind of tasted like squirt mixed with gin. It was like a fruity, almost like a soda pop, but it was on tap everywhere.
cool.
It was good, very sweet.
Nice.
Hard to drink more than one of those.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, it's cool that you got to go somewhere you never been before, out of the country, and on the work's dime. Not too bad you've gotten to do that over the years. At least it wasn't like, where'd you go? Where was it? China or Japan last year, where you kind of stuck out a little bit. Here you probably blended in a little bit better, so that's good. Although
Yeah,
they
for
treated
sure.
you like a celebrity over there in Japan or whatever it was. I remember you telling
China,
us that
yeah,
story. China, yeah, yeah.
yeah,
People taking pictures of you and stuff.
yeah. It was that was a bizarre experience.
Right. So just think about that. Right now, you're on someone's camera in China from a picture that somebody took. As you told them
Probably
you
on
were,
some YouTube video in Finland
yeah, yeah.
singing karaoke. So
And they talk about how they met Dylan Windler, the famous former NBA player. So pretty cool, pretty
yeah,
cool. Well, let's get back to the Cavs podcast. Like we said, a lot of basketball has been played. Tonight, the Cavs just finished their back-to-back game against the Toronto Raptors. They played the night before against the Clippers. We'll get into that. Alex, this was a tough game on the road after just playing at home the night before, missing 7 rotational players. That's right, 7 from this game. It was like watching LeBron try to win uh, during that first finals run with Sasha Pavlovich and Drew Gooden and Eric Snow and a whole bunch of players that aren't household names. That's what it felt like tonight watching this game with Mitchell running around out there.
yeah. Well, he still had Mobley, right? And Mobley is supposed to be, defensive player of the year. He's supposed to be taking that next step. I don't know. He's just been struggling lately. Like he's fallen in love with taking mid-range shots and three-pointers, and when he could be in that paint dominating. That's my.
Yeah,
I just don't
it,
get it.
we were talking about this a little bit before we started recording. I noticed sometimes, depending on where he's catching the ball, he's having a hard time. He's getting out muscled by his defender. He's catching it 15, 16, 17 feet away from the hoop. He might be able to get around some players, but he's certainly not backing down a lot of players. The other night against the Pacers, I swear he couldn't get around Siakam for the life of him. Siakam was just a wall. He had a hard time tonight doing very much inside. And both Mobley and Mitchell, to be fair, didn't have great games tonight. I mean, between the two of them, they still didn't even add up to what Brandon Ingram scored in this game. Ingram has been on fire as of late. The Cavs had no answer for Ingram tonight, dropped 37 points in 37 minutes. And yeah, the Cavs just, fell short on the offensive end. They had their chances. I mean, they definitely didn't get embarrassed in this game, and they had opportunities. But every time they would get close, Alex, the Raptors just seemed to go on another run.
Yeah, we're just too underhanded. There's just too many guys out.
Yeah, yeah, totally. I mean, um, you know, Tomlin plays 32 minutes. Lonzo Ball got the start, played 34 minutes. Probably the most he's played so far in a game. Tyson gets 34. Nance gets 18 minutes. Chris Livingston made his Cavalier debut. He actually was pretty solid. He was, believe it or not, comes plus minus. He was the highest on the plus at a plus 12. had 7 points and grabbed 3 rebounds in 14 minutes. But yeah, just again, you you looked out there and not a lot of household names out there, and the Raptors have been an ascending team this year. They won 11 out of their last 12 leading up to this game, and just a team that's hitting their stride right now, and was going to be a hard team to win against, especially on the road. Second night of a back to back and being undermanned.
Yeah. On the bright side, I've been, we're getting a lot of these end of bench guys minutes that otherwise wouldn't be have minutes. So it's a good thing to find out. Like they started plugging Tomlin in, and look at Tomlin, man. He's just he's an animal out there. He's
He's a
high
spark. He's a spark
energy,
plug. Yeah.
yeah, defensive animal. Yeah, Tomlin like came out of nowhere, in my opinion, just to be like get regular rotational minutes.
Yeah, and he's still so raw, right? I mean, you could definitely tell that if he continues to work on his game, he has the size, he has the speed, he has the athleticism to continue to make an impact and get rotational minutes, right? So, yeah, that's been definitely a bright spot, and he has a great story too. He didn't even start playing basketball till what was it?
College,
Somewhere in
right?
high school. I thought I
Oh,
remember
I, I
hearing.
I thought they were saying he didn't even play in high school.
Maybe not. It might have even been later than
They
that. So
found him
that's
playing at Rutgers Park and
yeah, yeah.
recruited him to a local community college, and from there he just kind of kept elevating and taking off. And yeah, what a
So that's a
story.
yeah, that's a great story, right? And tonight on the broadcast, which I kind of had to do like a what did they really just say that? But then when I started thinking about the roster, I was like, well, yeah, 10 out of the 18 players on the roster are second round picks or undrafted players. So when you think of the Sam Merrills, the Dean Wades, the Craig Porters, the Tomlins, the Luke Travers, and so on and so forth, it's like, man, this team is deep, but also has a lot of underdogs on it as well, right? And part of that too is the salary, right? That you got some players making a lot of money on this team. You can't fill it all out with 18 players all making money. But the Cavs have been able to do a good job at kind of finding those quote unquote diamonds in the rough, right? Just over the years, especially as of late. And Tomlin's just another one of those fine. Tyson has been great this year. He has stepped up. He wasn't a second rounder, of course, but he's been another young guy that has been given an opportunity and taken advantage of it, playing a lot of starter like minutes. Um, I guess, Alex, for me, what I really want to see, and I don't know when we're going to see it, if at all, is what this team looks like when they're fully healthy.
Yeah, I don't know. Garland's in and out, Merrill's in and out,
Allen now,
Allen, Craig
Struess is
Porter.
still out.
I mean, it's just one after the other. Yeah.
Yeah, tonight was game what 19, I think it was, and this already haven't even reached 20 games yet. This was the 11th different starting lineup for Kenny Atkinson, which is tied for the second most in the NBA. I think there was one other team that had 13 different starting lineups they were talking about before the game started. So that's just insane, and unfortunately, that's kind of been a trend with this team over the years, right?
Yeah.
It's just one of those trends that just doesn't seem to go away. And at the end of the day, I mean, they're still a good club. They're still at the top of the East, top four team. They'll drop down to number four now with the loss. But I mean, this team is still solid. It's just it's hard to see or imagine what the full potential is when you can't go more than a game or two with a consistent lineup.
I'll say though, Kenny Atkinson and the coaching staff are doing a hell of a job because their record does not reflect all the roster changes at all. They still find ways to win,
Yep. Or
with,
be
what they're
competitive at
doing.
least. I mean, even
Yeah.
tonight, I mean, they really went to the bottom of the bench, right? And Atkinson is still finding the right buttons to press. And the Cavs just needed a little bit more. Again, Mitchell and Mobley both had underwhelming games. Neither one of them, Mitchell had 17, Mobley for 14. Both those guys get 20 plus, and this is a different outcome, I think. But again, second night of a back to back, and not a lot of support from the rest of the guys around the team. But yeah, no, kudos to Atkinson and the coaching staff for working with what they have. The other thing before we kind of go back here over the last couple games, Alex, another bright spot is Donovan Mitchell for the sixth time in his career with the Cavaliers, named Eastern Conference Player of the Week. To do that, he averaged 31.8 points, 6.3 rebounds, 5 assists, and 1.3 steals over the last 4 games while shooting 56% from the field and 43% from 3-point range. And as a result, the Cavs won 3 out of those 4 matchups, with Mitchell scoring at least 30 points in all of those victories. I will say, Alex, and it might be by necessity with Garland out early, with Strus out, and just the injuries in general. It feels like Mitchell has been more scoring minded this year than what he did in previous years. Um, and man, he's still just top 10 scorer in the league. If he wants a bucket, he can go get a bucket in many different ways. He's very exciting to watch.
Only the sixth time? I'm surprised by
In
that.
in a Cavaliers uniform.
Okay.
Yeah. I
I'm
think
still
it, I think
surprised by that.
I think I saw it was 11 times in his career and 6 as a Cavalier. Could be
Hmm.
wrong, but I could have swore that's what I heard tonight on the
Player of the
broadcast.
week. Eastern
Player of the
Conference
week.
Player of the Week.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hmm.
We'll have to look that up again just to verify. But what do you think about Donovan Mitchell this year and what you're seeing out of him? Do
No,
you like
Donovan's
him
been
being more
great.
aggressive?
Yeah, Donovan's been great. I think that he's just been kind of spending. It seems like he spends the first half of each game trying to get everybody else involved, and then he comes in the second half and just lights it on fire. Is just kind of what I notice from him.
Yeah, he's I also like he's added some new moves, some new tricks to the bag, if you will. He's always had that first quick step. He's always had that, step back three. But this year he has this move where he does almost every game now where he's dribbling and he dribbles it up over his defender's head as
Yeah,
he's basically going to the rim, which usually results in the defender, him losing the defender and a floater from Mitchell. It's pretty awesome to see, and
yeah, it is
he's
a cool move.
you
That
don't see
over
I
the
don't
top.
you really don't see a lot of people doing that. And he's already perfected that
Eh,
move, and he
t-
makes some defenders like pretty foolish as a result, like
Yeah,
on those
Tyrese
replays.
Proctor did it
He
tonight.
tried it. He tried it
Yeah,
tonight. Yeah,
that was funny. Yeah, yeah,
that
it's a good
was
move. It's great. Yeah,
yeah.
and Proctor also did use the was it Proctor or was it Jalen that used the Euro step down the lane,
Yeah,
just
yeah, it
like
was Jalen. It was Jalen
yeah,
that did
yeah,
that.
that was nice. Yeah,
Yeah, it's
so you
cool.
can
So
tell he's teaching the young guys some tricks.
yes, definitely, definitely. So the Cavs dropped the game to the Raptors. Let's talk about Sunday's game. The Los Angeles Clippers come to town. Pretty sure I saw that this was Kawhi's debut game of the season, or at least he missed the first 10 games. Or I know he was coming off of an injury. And James Harden the day before put up what 50 plus points, I believe it was on Saturday. Man, it's just crazy to me that James Harden is still around, still able to score. Like he plays below the rim for the most part.
He's not as old as LeBron.
Ah, well, still, I
LeBron's
just
a
don't know.
freak though. Yeah,
I just don't know how James Harden is still able to do everything he's able to do. And never been a fan of his game.
not quite everything. He couldn't make a three.
No, no. Luckily, he was a little bit off. He was a little bit off this game. Only finished with 19 points. But this game, I haven't been paying attention to the Clippers, right? And didn't realize how much they were struggling. Only 5-12 on the season, and the Cavs took care of business. Once the Cavs got ahead, Alex, they never really looked back in this game, which is what you want to see happen when you're playing against a struggling team.
When I was watching that starting five show, uh, James Harden is one of the stars on it, and they covered that season. Was he an MVP? Was he MVP? Yeah, he was MVP of that season in 2017,
Okay,
and
that goes way
they
back.
covered that. It was like the first time. I don't know if you remember this, but he like had perfected that step back three, that
Mhm.
super
Yeah.
distant step jump back 3 pointer, and he was making it nonstop to the point that in the playoffs, a couple of the teams started guarding behind him. Do you remember that, where they were behind Harden guarding him so that he couldn't do the step back?
No, I don't
You don't
remember
remember
that, but
that?
that's
Oh
no,
man,
that's
yeah.
crazy
When
though.
they were covering it in that show, they were showing clips of it. Now, I remember watching that and thinking how crazy that was.
That
So it's
is.
just like kind of a far cry from his that MVP season to where he is now. I mean, he's still a great player and a great shooter, but
Mhm.
he's definitely back down a little bit from where he used to be, and that's I mean that comes with
Co
age.
Comes with
But he's
age,
he's
sure.
still a phenomenal player. But looking at this Clippers team and seeing that 5-12 record, I was a little surprised. That team. There's a lot of great players on that team. That team is kind of stacked. You got Kawhi Leonard, Zubats,
Yeah.
in the center. He's a very good big. You got Harden. You got Nick Batum. Uh,
Kawhi,
why?
Kawhi, Kawhi.
Yeah, Kawhi, Chris Paul.
Got some veterans that, have been around like Chris Paul and Brook Lopez. Yeah, coming into this game, I was like, "Oh, the Clippers, like, they're probably still a competitive team." And then I looked at their record and then, just kind of, all right, well, the Cavs took care of business. Again, that's not a game you want to drop to with the team struggling like that, especially at home too. And the Clippers, sure. I mean, it's a long game, right? A basketball game is a long game, so every team's going to go on their run, but it never felt like there was really a true threat. Like the Cavs felt like the Cavs were in control in this game. A little bit different than the Pacers game, which we'll talk about, which was back and forth. And Donovan Mitchell was just electric in this game. 37 points in 33 minutes, plus 26. Was able to do whatever he wanted to do at will, and good support from DeAndre Hunter. Big fan of Hunter. Mobley finishes with 18, and you had Proctor chip in with 11 off the bench for some even scoring there. This Garland did play in this game. Not his best game. Played 29 minutes, finished with 8 points and 8 assists. But yeah, Garland kind of here and not here. To be fair, Alex, we did get him back earlier than what I thought we were going to get him back in the season. But it feels like he's only been able to play a couple games, and then he's not available. Right? He re-aggravates the toe. Then the
Yeah,
team's being cautious. And I was talking about this before we started recording too. It's funny because it felt like we were going to be worried about Lonzo Ball, right? Who has actually been one of the most healthy guys so far. And now it's kind of uncertain with Garland. Like, is he actually 100% or not? And what do the Cavs do, Alex? Do the Cavs kind of give him time to try to fully recover? Do they kind of continue to play him, keep him in a day to day status? What do they do with Garland from here?
man, that was rough to see him, limp off the floor. Obviously nursing that toe again after he just had surgery.
Yeah,
It's the style of basketball he plays though. He goes to that hoop. I don't want to say recklessly, but without abandon, right? Like every time he goes to that's his game. He drives to the hoop and he kicks it or he lays it up, and every single time he ends up on the floor, underneath the hoop. It's always just crashing into the court every time he drives. Um, yeah, and the court's always going to win. So
sure.
I don't know. It's kind of it sucks. It really does.
Yeah, yeah, it does. And I don't know. I don't know what the Cavs should do here. Um, Again, you gotta get to a point, and it's still very early in the season, right? But at some point, you gotta find the rotation, and you gotta have some consistency. Another thing that they called out on the Raptors up until today's game, RJ Barrett didn't play in this game, but they're like four main guys, right? Have played every single game this season. Well, we can't say that about the core four, right? Garland has played less than half. Allen's now missed a couple games, and it's hard to find your rotation and your chemistry as a result. So I want Garland to come back. I want to see him be at that all-star level, and I want to see this team start to be a little bit more consistent and start to ascend as other teams are doing that around us. But at the same time, it's hard to say, well, these games really don't matter, and what really matters is May, April,
Mhm.
May, and June, right? Which feels like forever away. So it puts the Cavs in a tough spot. Thankfully, guys like Porter Jr., like Proctor, like Ball, when given the opportunity, have been able to contribute on a somewhat consistent basis. But I think we all want to see our all-star point guard back that's making the most amount of money in Cavaliers franchise history playing on the floor as well.
Yeah, I don't I don't know what the answer is. Like, yeah, do we rest him till January and then hope that he's 100% the rest of the season? Or will he just re-aggravate the toe in March, you know? Like,
Right.
or do you just keep playing him now and let him work through it? Does
Yeah.
he, I'm not a doctor. I only play one on a different podcast, but maybe they wrap the toe. I don't, or give him a special shoe. Like, I don't know, but there's got to be some answer here.
Yeah, it's just you don't hear very often about a toe injury that has an effect to this magnitude. Usually it's a knee, it's an ACL, it's not very often you hear about a toe.
Ilgauskas, right? He had like was it a
Well,
toe? Was it the whole foot? I can't remember exactly, but
he's like 2 feet taller than Garland, and I mean, yeah, he had bad feet, right? But you just in today's NBA, you just don't hear about it very often, I guess. So it's must be something really unique with Garland going on, and just yeah, just hopefully he can get healthy and come back and be consistent. He's still so young, so I don't want to see injury woes start to happen with him or affect a title run
man, it's
and that
always
kind of thing.
something though.
Yeah, it's always something though. I mean, I swear, ever
The
since
broken jaw, the eye
yeah,
socket, now the
yeah,
toe. It's like,
yeah,
man, come on, dude.
yeah,
Just one
exactly.
season healthy. Give it.
Right. It's all
Let's
we
do
need,
it.
man. It's all we need. So yeah, the Cavs take care of the Clippers at home in pretty good fashion. Was a fun game to watch. The game before this, though, against the Pacers, was a little bit more of a dogfight, Alex. The Pacers, obviously, a struggling team. Was in the finals last year. Halliburton goes down, lose some players in the offseason, and then
Turner.
also had some injuries to the start of this season. But man, the Pacers gave the Cavs everything they had in this game, and it was definitely a dogfight. Um, but the Cavs did pull out and were victorious in this game. But Alex, anything jump out from you from what you recall? Garland did play in this game, had 20 points, um, and good scoring across some other players. But what jumps out to you from the Pacers game?
I'm just gonna shout out Jalen Tyson again. I thought he absolutely killed it in this game, and he's been killing it the last few games. And he's just been playing so aggressive, and he plays both ends of the court, and he plays very efficiently. Like,
He does.
he always has a very good field goal percentage. Not a lot of turnovers, not a lot of fouls, lots of rebounds, lots of assists. He's always helping out in the little areas. He's great on defense. He's a dog. He picks up guys full court. He plays the passing lanes. He's always in a spot. He's always rotating when he needs to. Man, Jalen Tyson, I think, is he's going to be a great player for the Cavs for several years.
Dare I say, Jalen Tyson has been able to be so far in this season, which it's less than 20 games, right? But so far he seems to be what Isaac Okoro was never able to become during his time as a Cavalier. And I like Okoro, right? And he was here for several years and he never really kind of met that potential of what we wanted him to be able to do on both ends of the floor, right? To where Tyson is rapidly developing on both ends of the floor. And like you said, he does a little bit of everything. He's willing to dive on the floor. His 3-point shot, I hated his 3-point shot last year. I'm still not crazy about it, but he's like his form of it or whatever. But you could tell he's worked on his release. It is faster than last year, and he's consistently knocking them down. So Tyson, yeah, just been a great addition. I was a little bit nervous when We lost Ty Jerome. We ship out Isaac Okuro, and there was talks about Tyson kind of getting the green light this year, getting his number called, if you will. And so far, he's proven that he deserves those minutes that he's getting. So he's just a very nice complementary player that, for the time being at least, will go under the radar for most defensive opposing teams.
Hmm. Yeah, I like that mention of Okoro because they they do play kind of similar. I think like Tyson is probably just as good on defense as Okoro, except Okoro was always kind of sit back, kind of passive,
Hmm.
just kind of try to fit into the scheme or the rotation. Whereas Tyson is much more aggressive.
Yeah,
Like he's not afraid to take that ball and drive to the hoop or shoot a three. He's got a lot more confidence. I think maybe that's what it is than Okoro had. But yeah, I already like how far he's come along
yeah,
and what we had hoped Okoro would eventually do and become.
absolutely, absolutely. But yeah, this was a dogfight of a game, back and forth, a lot of lead changes. The Pacers probably, even though they're a struggling team, you know, e- they remember what they did to the Cavs last year, right? So they had some confidence, and they're hungry to try to figure out a way to win some games, right? But again, the Cavs playing at home. This was a 6-game home stretch, by the way, which was going to be their longest of the season, and they were able to take advantage of that and eke out the win against a team that was just searching for anything they could to try to get a win on the road. So that was a solid win by the Cavs, and probably the last game we'll go back to, Alex, only because you went to this game, was the Houston Rockets came to town, Kevin Durant and company. Unfortunately, the Cavs lose this game, but Alex, tell them why and how the officials sucked.
Because of the officiating, Corey. You just
Yes,
answered your own question.
I want to hear
Like,
you say
I
it
don't even
though.
want to talk about this game because it was so frustrating to watch. Like, it's got to be the worst game I've seen in person from an officiating standpoint. Like, it just seemed like every call that went against the Cavs, they'd show it in slow motion on the jumbotron, and every like 20,000 people would see that the
Ramon,
call was wrong,
yeah,
except
yeah,
for the officials. It's like,
yeah.
oh my god, I I'm getting pissed just thinking about it. But yeah, I mean, other than that, it was a decent game. You know,
Cavs got down big early in this game. I think
the
was
Cavs could not make a shot. They
yeah,
could not score the whole
that first
first
quarter.
half of the game. Not just the
Yeah,
first quarter, like even the second quarter, they could just not make a shot. And the Rockets were hitting everything. Everything was going down. It was almost like they had home court advantage in this game.
right.
It was ridiculous.
Yeah, and the Cavs came out firing in the third quarter, made the game interesting again, but it was just they couldn't get over the hump, right? And unfortunately, it resulted in a loss. But anything to call out, like just being there, how was the experience? Anything cool or different in the arena from the last time you were there, or kind of just the norm?
It was the classic Jersey night, so I got to see
Yes. Yeah.
the was it '07
Hmm.
jerseys, and the court was the had the old logo on it too, which was
Yeah.
pretty
Yeah.
neat. It felt like a flashback, and I wore my old 2006 2007 the red Cavs jersey that
Mm.
had the same Cleveland script on the front of it, so that was fun. There was a lot of other people wearing the old style jerseys too, and I was walking through the what's it called, like the gateway area, and where the tunnel where the screen is at, and some guy shouted out, "LeBron's gonna leave."
That's all.
Yeah, just like it
Oh
was
my
back
god.
then. So
Yeah.
that was
Yeah.
that was funny. But yeah, yeah, it was cool.
Those jerseys still pop pretty nice on TV. The Cavs wore 'em again tonight, and
Yeah, they look
yeah,
nice. Yeah, I like the
they're, they're
look.
they're still a good jersey, So, and I think it was during that game they showed a flashback of like LeBron and Andy and someone else, I forget who, like wearing it before they were checking in to the
Oh
game or
man,
whatever.
That's the other thing. The intro video that they do at, right before the player introduction
Hmm.
was a throwback video that they like mixtaped with the new intro video. So
Okay.
it started out with the old, I don't know if you remember this, but early 2000s they had, or no, it would have been, I'm trying to remember what season that was. But anyway, they took like a bunch of classic intro videos and mixed them together, and it started out with Shaquille O'Neal
Oh wow.
rising up out of the lake, and then it showed Anderson Varejao and oh man, I can't remember
Drew
who it
Gooden.
was, but it
Drew
showed him
Gooden.
like standing, on the
Hmm.
bridge where the Guardians of Transportation statues are, and yeah, it was just super cool. It showed
That
like,
is cool. I'll have to go
yeah, a
look
bunch of
that up.
classic
I didn't
players.
see
Yeah, I
that.
wonder if it's online somewhere to
It's got to
watch.
be on YouTube somewhere. Somebody had to record that and
I wish
post
I had
that.
recorded it. Usually I do record the intro, but I didn't this time.
Yeah. Well, that's pretty cool. Unfortunately, the Cavs lose that game, right? But overall, Alex, the team now sits at 12-7. If you had to give your assessment up until this point in the season, what would you say?
I don't know because they've been so shorthanded, and the rotation is changing so often. I think they're doing well for what they've been given. Uh, I don't know. They also got fined $100,000 for
Yeah,
resting guys. It's like we're already shorthanded, and now you're gonna like rest all the rest of the
yeah.
starters for no
I,
reason.
I wonder if they'll
And
get
it wasn't
fined.
even a back to back. They didn't play the
Yeah,
day before. It was a rest day. So what are you doing? Like, I don't understand that.
I wonder if they'll get fined for sitting Hunter tonight because Hunter sat out due to rest. But I did see that they got fined for sitting. Who was it? Mobley and Mitchell. I want to say Mobley and somebody. Um, but yeah, I mean, it is kind of tough. Hey, again, the Cavs are still in a good spot considering where they're at, right? Sam Merrill, Money Merrill, man, he's off to a great start. You want to see get him healthy and back. He's just such a weapon off of the bench that it's hard for many teams to find an answer for.
He
We
was
just
on
want
a
to see this
hell of a
Cavs
hot
team.
streak,
Yeah.
Merrill. Like,
Yes,
now I'm
absolutely.
afraid he's not going to be the same when he comes back. Like, don't let that guy sit too many games, right? Like,
Right.
I don't want him to
Right.
lose it.
Yeah. Yeah. But again, I think this team is just still trying to find their way, trying to find their rotation. I mean, I think they know what they want the rotation to be, but what's going to be that rotation that's going to stick? Because it's a long NBA season. We're still in the very early stages of this. It'll be interesting to see what happens as we get pieces back, what other pieces stick, or will we
Hmm.
continue to play the shuffle game throughout the season? And as a result, have some inconsistencies along the way. I think that's the thing right now is it doesn't feel like the Cavs overall are very consistent due to the inconsistent roster rotations.
Yeah. Yeah, there's definitely some guys that are gonna lose their minutes. When everybody comes back, Craig Porter, Merrill, Garland, Struess.
Struess, man.
Um,
Yeah, where do you
yeah,
even fit in? Where do you even fit in Struess?
I don't know.
So
That's why I'm
it's
saying like guys that like Proctor. I think is gonna be a fantastic player. That dude is fast. He's got crazy skill getting to the hoop. He can make plays. He had some sweet no look passes for dimes.
mhm.
I mean, I
Yeah,
hate to see Proctor lose minutes. I hate to see Tomlin lose minutes because he's such a dog on the defensive end.
it'll be
But
a good
these
problem.
are
It'll
the
be a
guys
good
that
problem to
are
have though.
yeah. But these
It'll
are the
be a good
guys that
problem
are
to have.
going to lose minutes.
Because if you have some injuries that happen, closer to when it actually matters, you have some players that you're able to build some confidence with, right? Versus, oh, all of a sudden Tomlin's got to play in game 6 of the second round. you you know what I mean? Like we're starting to see what Tomlin can do now, what Tyson can do now, what Porter's doing, what Merrill's doing, and so on and so forth. So it's
Travers
ultimately
has
a good
been
problem
getting
to
minutes.
have as long as you get those other players back. So the other thing I wanted to run by you, and maybe we end it here unless you got anything else, Alex. But I'm looking at the standings again. It's so early in the season yet, right? Barely 20 games in, But man, these standings are not what I would have guessed if I had to guess a couple weeks ago. JB's got the Pistons sitting at the top of the East at 15-2. Um, Pistons are, and one of those losses came against the Cavs, by the way, pretty convincing loss. Then you have the Raptors, who we just played tonight at number 3. The Heat have kind of risen out of nowhere, sitting in the 3 spot, and Tyler Hero hasn't even played, or he might have just played his first game. And then you have the Cavs, the Knicks, the Hawks, the Bulls, the Magic to round out the top 8, 9, 76ers, I'm sorry, then the Magic. Um, so when you look at these standings, Alex, is every year we talk about this, how there's some teams that make that jump and there's some teams that seem to go the wrong direction. But is there anything that jumps out to you in these standings so far? Do you think teams like the Pistons and Raptors, do you think they're gonna be able to stick at the top of the standings and be a top 4 team?
Well, we know what JB can do firsthand. So that
Mm-hmm.
15-2, that is surprising. But I
Very.
knew the Pistons would be good. I didn't think they'd be 15-2 good. It's still really early in the season. I mean, Cavs were almost the same record last season, right? So Raptors, yeah. I mean,
I don't know.
I,
I watching them tonight, it's just like, okay, they have some nice pieces, but
mm-hmm.
I'm not convinced on the Raptors. Like if we were healthy and you know, core 4 plays, Hunter plays, yeah, I'm not worried about the Raptors, right? But obviously they're winning some games, and even the Heat kind of coming out of nowhere. They lose Rozier due to the what was it, the gambling stuff there. I don't really did they make any big off-season acquisitions? I don't remember. Wiggins is out there. You got Bam out there. So some nice pieces, but they're kind of coming out of nowhere.
Well, they
Um,
got is it Hawkes? Yeah, Jamie Hawkes has been
yeah, he's
playing out of
solid.
his shoes. Yeah,
Yeah,
he's
he
good.
is. He is. They have some solid pieces. The Knicks are kind of right there with the Cavs, right? And it even seems like the Hawks and the Bulls are kind of the Bulls got off real hot, and then they lost a bunch of games, but they're still a top 8 team right now. So there are a lot of new faces up there in the East, and it'll be interesting to see who kind of sticks around. While teams like the Magic, the Bucks, the Celtics, of course, with the Tatum injury, are kind of going the opposite direction. Again, very early, but if the playoffs started today, those teams would be fighting for a spot for sure.
I think they'll stick. Like the teams that have kind of sunken down, the Pacers with the
Sure.
Hallie injury, the Celtics with the Tatum injury, the Bucks. I don't know why they're underperforming. They they should be doing a lot better than they are, and maybe they will. But other than that, I don't see a whole lot of movement.
Hmm.
Like I don't see anybody that's towards the bottom that I think is going to shoot upward as the season goes on.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see. The only team that maybe has that potential is the Magic. I don't know what's going on with them. Are they healthy or not? They were a team that I thought was going to take that jump this year, and there's still time for it. They're 10-8. All they have to do is go on a little win streak and have a couple teams lose, and they're in the top 4. A week from now, right? I mean,
I
the standings are still so close that there could be a lot of movement here within a span of a week or two.
I feel like everybody saw what Indiana did last season,
Hmm.
where they just kind of coasted all the way until the second half of the season, and then they
Yeah,
started turning it on and putting it all together, and how well they did, and went to the finals. So I don't know that teams are necessarily taking at least the first half of the regular season very seriously, and
sure.
that's one of the reasons why they started doing these cup games to try to motivate players. So
Are you motivated as a fan, Alex, for
you
those
know,
games?
honestly, a little bit, just because it's kind of bragging rights, and I want to see the Cavs win, and I think it's kind of cool to see the Cup standings and to see the point differential that they go by,
Mm-hmm.
and to see the Cavs are winning that. Last I saw, they had
The
like a
point,
plus
yeah, the point difference,
33,
right?
yeah, point differential. So yeah, I mean, I was like totally against it before, but now I'm like, you know, it's fine, right? They're just regular season games to begin with that they added this extra incentive to. So what's the harm?
Sure. Yeah, there's no harm in it. I wish it didn't start like week 2 of the season or whatever it was, and it feels kind of spaced out, right? Um,
Well, I
but
wish they would
hey,
get rid of the preseason, but that's probably a whole nother can of
yeah,
worms.
well, yeah, yeah. NBA will continue to tweak and experiment. I know you're telling me about a bunch of stuff that they're trying to do with the All Star game and
Oh
stuff, and
yeah,
we'll talk about that as we get closer to it, right? Um, but hey, got to innovate, right? So, Alex, anything else that you want to bring up? Mention basketball wise, Cavs wise, Finland wise.
I don't think so. I got some questions for you, but I'll save them for the next episode.
Well, upcoming games for the Cavs, they do have some these next few games. Hopefully, they could take advantage of. They do have their next game is a cup game actually against the Hawks. That's on the road. Then they come back home against the Celtics, who so far this year has had our number both in preseason and regular season. So it'd be nice to get a victory against them, and then they have the Pacers again, and then the Trailblazers. So the next 4 games are winnable games, and hopefully the Cavs can take advantage there before they face some tougher opponents after that in mid December there. So we will keep our eye on the Cavs. Hopefully we'll get some players back by then, Alex, and we're talking about some more wins next time we jump on here.
Absolutely.
But with that, Cavs fans, we want to thank you as always for tuning in and listening. And Alex, let them know where they can follow us and connect with us.
Follow us on Twitter at Cavs Pick and Roll. Shoot us an email, cavspickandroll@gmail.com. Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Tumblr. Watch this episode on YouTube. Wherever you're listening, watching, click like, subscribe, leave us a rating or a review. We'd appreciate it.
All right, Cavs fans, there it is. We will talk to you again soon.
Peace out, Cavs fans.